Hello, my name's Philip Steelstra. I've been a big supporter of Archangel since I first met David Millark back in 2012. I was fortunate to go on a tree climbing expedition with Archangel in 2016. When I left the expedition in Crescent City, California, I said to David, I'm going to get some of your redwoods planted in Seattle. And he said, I know you will, with such certainty that I knew I would. And I did. I contacted a lot of park districts around Puget Sound that summer, and by November, Archangel had shipped me 350 redwood saplings, and I distributed them to 30 different park districts all around Puget Sound. They got planted in 2017 and some even in 2018. So those are now thriving. I continued to stay in touch with Archangel, and they continued to send redwoods and sequoia seedlings my way. So far, we've received over 6,000 trees from Archangel, some of them yet to be planted. We have a program going on right now with some of my colleagues in Olympia. So we have 1,000 redwoods in a nursery there that came a year ago, and they are now very robust in 5-gallon pots. We also have 300 giant sequoia seedlings. So we've started up a program this fall. We just dubbed it 1,000 Redwoods, and we've been contacting local Native American tribes, park districts, cities, a number of places, quite a number of places, and there is a whole lot of interest. We feel we're really accomplishing a lot. We appreciate so much the work that David Millark and his organization, Archangel, have done for the earth. We hope to extend it by the work that we're doing here in the Northwest, and we couldn't be happier doing so. So thank you for your attention, and we'll show you a tour of some of the trees. So here we have the nursery where the sequoias from Archangel have been growing for the last year, and they are just so huge now. Some of them certainly over 2 feet, and over here the redwoods came 16 inches a year ago, and some of them are now certainly 4 feet, but even some of them even 6 feet tall. So very healthy. Time for them to get out and get planted.
You want to do it today?
This is a load of 45 redwoods and 5 sequoias. And these trees will be going out to the Shoalwater tribe down on southwestern Washington. Taken there by one of our team members, Dave Pearsall. They're such healthy trees, they will be so happy to receive these. So here we are, the city of Olympia, picking up 100 redwood trees to plant in a variety of city parks. Truck's already loaded, probably 10 trees yet to go. Why would the city of Olympia be interested in planting redwood trees?
Well, first and foremost, we want to take action on climate change. So these are one of the best trees to do that with, and we want a lasting forest for future generations, and this tree might survive the heat that's coming. So the idea is to spread them around the city. Hopefully our kids will enjoy them.
And their children.
And their children.
Yeah, and great-grandchildren. So here's a look at some of the redwoods that were planted in the Lacey Community Park, Lacey, Washington. These trees are planted in what's called a mixed grove. There's Douglas fir planted next to it, some other broadleaf trees. So that's a peek at the redwoods that were planted in Lacey in the community park. I'm here standing in front of my very favorite tree in the world. This is a coast redwood. It's been planted here 4 years ago. It was only 16 inches tall. It was this size when it was planted. It was cloned from a huge huge stump in California called the Fieldbrook stump. That tree was cut down in 1890, but you know, it sends up basal sprouts. So cuttings from those basal sprouts were taken by Archangel. They grew them into a small tree like this, and we planted a tree this size 4 years ago, and it's now over 15 feet tall. The last 2 years it grew 4 feet a year. So it's just in fabulous health, growing like crazy. It absolutely loves it here, and that's the story of my favorite tree.
Hello there, this is Charlie Rodriguez, Sales Director as well as ISA Certified Arborist with Athens Tree Farm. We are extremely excited to partner with Archangel Ancient Tree Archive as well as the Mylark family. We are excited to grow these baby redwoods and sequoias and help the reforestation throughout the world, which is a very important thing for all of us to do.
I'm Brock. I oversee some of the day-to-day stuff here on the farm. You know, the Mylark family's been really good to us, and we're excited to be able to partner with them and help with the reforestation across the world, and we're excited to see where this goes.
We're standing here at the Eden Project next to a road which may seem slightly ironic. Behind me, one of the cuttings we took from David Millarch at Archangel to bring here to the Eden Project. 49 trees we have planted that are the relatives of absolute giants in the great American wild places. When we brought children here to do the planting with David, I've never seen people so excited and so genuinely jaw-droppingly impressed with the challenge that they were facing. 103 feet in circumference. That was the girth of the tree behind me's mum. And the children just couldn't believe that we were asking them to choose places to plant trees that were going to live for 3,500 years. So what would that look like? We drew pictures of the great architecture and put the trees in place to give some sense of the scale.
What we have loved is imagining the future and imagining a future that remains ours to make. And that's very much what the Redwoods here have allowed us to do. Yes, with school children and with the students that we have here, but also with the public, giving people a sense of hope, but also giving them a sense of how unimportant actually humans occasionally are in the face of the power of nature.
What was extraordinary about meeting David and the Archangel team in California was how ahead of the times they were, and knowing where climate change was going to be taking so many of these ecosystems, and that the message that climate change and the effects of a changing world would have on systems such as the giant sequoias and the redwoods, it was a message that the rest of the world is really starting to understand. So from the forest fires in California to all the different projects around the world that Eden is involved with, communities and governments are starting to become aware just of how much humans are going to have to adapt to a changing world, but also to work with nature, and in certain occasions, as Archangel do, give nature a helping hand to make sure that we can all thrive in the future.
We send our greetings to all in the world who are big fans of trees and say, go plant some and love the ones that are there, and teach people that all life on earth is interconnected. Keep it all safe and connected, and humans have got a great chance.